It should be right. There's already 11 people waiting? Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the play. Um, yep, it is. And you're cut off.
Oh, sorry. Camera angle. Okay, there's 9 people in here. Hey, y'all. What's going on? Oh, man, dang, thanks. 5 likes. Thank you, guys. The likes are mucho appreciated. Go, gang, gang. Go, gang. So excited to be back live. So excited to be on YouTube. If you guys are like me and you're stuck at home, it's very hard to just be sitting here and be like, hey, we got to go through thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. So instead of this being a show solely about Iraq, we're going to do a show about the news,
Hey, Sammy
the
D.
markets. We'll have some
Hey,
fun
Greg.
tonight. Gang, gang, gang. Got them bombs on deck. Got Daisy at my feet, my wife on the step. Ready. War ready.
Let's see.
Woo! Zofir, you spelled his name wrong, Joseph. Zafiri. And even if he is, it kind of doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
Nah, I mean, think about it. The world's not moving. Who's moving? Who cares? Think about it. All I want is for 3 things to happen in Iraq. I don't care who does it. Him being out doesn't matter to me. I'm way ahead of Iraq.
Hey, Dog. Hey, Bethany. Hey,
You
Eugene.
got to think about it from a practice. Listen, would you care who runs them as long as somebody runs them that just passes that stupid budget?
Hi, Janelle.
Y'all know the rules. When we get to 100 people, we'll play the theme music.
Hey, No. Hope you're safe.
I hope you guys are all practicing social distancing, washing your hands and your clothes.
Hey, Jay Lee. I think I said hey, Eugene. Hey, Reaper.
Reaper, how'd that lamb turn out?
Hey, Hope.
72 people. We about to get the party started.
Hey, George K. Hey,
Daisy
Steve.
got allergies.
Oh, you got the Rona. Stop sneezing, Daisy. Come here. Quit sneezing, Mama.
That tiger got it.
You got the Rona.
So, Donnie, gang, gang all day.
We need to get you a little doggy mask.
So, 83. I'm going off the count up there, not the count on my thing, because this one seems bigger. Hope you guys good evening.
Hey, Josie.
100 people and we'll get this party cranked up.
Hey, Shanta. Hey, Robert. Robert said he likes your shirt.
Oh, thank you, Boricua.
I should have worn mine.
Sure shoulda.
Hey, Wanda. We had to coordinate. Hey, Mark.
Coordinate. Oh, Daisy gang. OLG gang. Old lady gang.
OLG.
Old lady gang. Poor thing.
Hey, Chef. What's up? Hey, James.
Hey, Carlos. How you doing, baby? I know. You tired of Iraq, huh?
Hey, Joseph. Hey, nephew.
Tired of fooling around with Iraq. You say Iraq.
I hope
Boring.
you safe. You got your mask. You know my nephew live in Riverside, where it's
Ground
high.
zero?
It's high out there.
Is it that Christian Dior? What is that she sneezing? I think it's my cologne.
It,
She wants to hold hands. Oh, y'all should see that. She wants to hold paws. We can't hold hands the whole show, honey. I'm sorry. Oh.
Hey, Denise. I wanna make me a mask while I'm.
Somebody get Bethany to make her one of her new custom made masks. Y'all need to hit up Bethany at Inspired Design and get her to make you one of her new masks. And you can go on her Facebook and you can check it out.
Daisy's really sneezing.
I'll give her an allergy pill in a minute after the show.
You think it is your cologne?
I do. I think it's my
Yeah,
cologne.
'cause
Because I haven't worn it in the last few days.
She don't like it.
She don't like it. Oh, Paul, stop, y'all. Please, y'all. Y'all gonna make me twerk on here.
Come here, mommy. You need a mask, huh?
I need a Reaper mask. You need to contact Bethany at Inspire Design. She can make those custom masks. I saw her make an LV logo, the Gucci joint. I mean, she put up the polo. You know I'm weak for that polo. She did it too, man. Reaper, how'd that lamb turn out?
Daisy's like, I beg of you, don't wear that anymore. Look at her. Look at her. She's looking at you.
I won't wear it no more, honey.
She's like, oh.
Don't like it, huh? She's looking at me like, stop.
She's like, I'm miserable right now. I can't. It's like being
Shout out to Paul holding down the gang, putting the set on deck. Thank you so much for believing in the cause. Man, we're at 102 people, so can I play my favorite jam? The sweetest, most melodious sound your eardrums have ever heard. She nipped my finger.
She's like, I can't take it. She's like, I can't even cut up right now.
Comic book art tutorials. I say somebody like Russia or Japan needs to hack their electronic platform, get our boy inside of it. Our boy goes in there, mass arrest happen, and we get this show on the road anyway. But you know, that's just my humble opinion. Yeah.
And the brown one?
Da Vinci. China. What? No, thought, man. That love. Oh my God. Y'all throwing me so much love. Thank you so much. Y'all gonna make me buy Daisy some allergy medicine. She just sneezing. You got it. You got it.
You got the Rona, Daisy. Daisy, you got the
She's like, quit fooling with me. I'm old.
Rona. Shoot, it hurt your cologne. We'll go get it.
Woo!
Oh, you cut out.
Classic ending, classic music, nothing but hits. Shout out to Paul. Oh my God, the love is just coming in. Can I get a major shout to Paul? Can I get another man? Corey? No. Man, y'all gonna make y'all for real gonna make me for real shed a tear tonight. I don't want to do that because it really makes me feel. I don't even want money, man. I just want a like. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I want. I want a like.
Shout out to all the essentials.
For real.
No is one of those.
No makes it happen every day.
Yeah.
Paul, people like that. Corey in the mix now. Look at him. Look, man, that's just straight love. Thank you. Major bomb to those people right there.
Oh yeah, Easter is Sunday.
And God bless Easter. Man, I hope everybody's safe for Easter.
Maximum Play, he just hit you up. Uh-oh, you better get your G-string ready.
Man, do I gotta whip the pole out? I could, but y'all, if you didn't see my TikTok, I got dance moves now. Y'all, God bless you. Thank you. For real, you are way too kind. Stop. I humbly accept, but please, the like button is all that I need to survive.
They tell you don't no more like button, just they dropping some ones on you.
Okay, then I won't ask for another like, okay?
They made it right.
No more likes. I won't ask for another like tonight, okay? Y'all bought the likes away. There you go, okay? No more likes. We'll just hit bombs. Let's get to this report. So we all know the rumor. And so I don't know if I should read the first half of this report or not. Yeah, I should. The first half of this report is actually very important. Well, that was Monday. Okay, today's today. So, okay, let's not concentrate our efforts on the central bank. I mean, on the government of Iraq. Shambles. Total storm of junk that's going on we don't want to know about, right? Mm-hmm. This guy could get ousted tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. That's the big rumor. We dropped it here first. It might not happen. It might happen. But if they get rid of him, the guy they want to elect is the head of the Central Intelligence Agency. He's not a bad guy either. Now, all the bad guys want to elect him. But listen, it doesn't matter. Nobody's buying any oil. Trump just said last week he wanted $9 a barrel. I'm with Trump. I want like $6 a barrel.
Oh, it's going the other direction, ain't it?
Not that I saw. Look it up.
I thought it was like 19. No?
I don't care. As long as it's below 30, I could care less. I want to starve OPEC because Iran is trying to produce oil and put it out of the ground. And they said the other day it was an OPEC nightmare for Iraq, and it's horrible.
Bethany got you.
Oh, my God. Bethany, thank you. Hit a bomb on that, too, please. Thank you. But let's really concentrate on the matters at hand.
Russia just agreed to lower. This is from Sharon. She
Mhm.
said Russia just agreed to lower their oil prices
And
today.
that's exactly what you don't want to hear. That's exactly what you don't want to hear. You want to hear Russia refuses to cooperate. They're going to pump oil at a ridiculous rate, and they're going to flood the market. And you want to see Saudi Arabia say, no, we're bigger, badder, more bolder. We're going to pump more oil, right? That's what you want to see. I don't want to see reconciliation. I want to see chaos, because chaos is what's going to get me paid. Understand, I'm not looking for kumbaya when everybody's like talking about all the world's governments need to get along and they all need to agree on a one world currency. That's New World Order stuff. That's the way I look at the gold back system. New World Order stamp of the beast, whatever the beast is. That's the most ugliest, foul thing I ever heard of in my whole life. I am a capitalist. We need money to shape our future, but we need profit to remain free. Eminem Mars. For real.
Eminem Mars. What's that mean?
They make candy.
Oh.
Now, but it's the truth.
No, I just missed the reference. I got you now, though. I'm a little slow. It's all right.
I'm looking for chaos. I'm looking for no one to agree right now. I'm hoping that these governments in so much disarray, while we're all sitting at home doing nothing, that it forces two institutions into doing one thing that we know we need them to do, which is starvation. I want the markets to be rocked. I'm not in this for kumbaya. I don't want to hear about going back to normalization right now that we're in a lockdown. I want to stay where I am. My position is good. I could care less how many PMs they put forward. You know why?
Why?
They got it one day, left one. And that day's got to come sooner as opposed to later. And they ain't got no money because they ain't got no oil. And they can't pay no salaries. And guess what? That is the blessing that you and I bestow over everything. That's the one thing we can control. Because if we're not driving our cars to work and they're not moving freight around and they're not moving a bunch of stuff around and the oil tankers aren't taking cruises, and guess what? You and I are sitting in a position to choke a country to death. Indirectly, of course, by force, but guess what? Sometimes this is the one force that we needed to see happen that's happening. That's a bomb, they're saying. You need to hit the bell. So, after Ali al-Awlaq wrote his white paper, a gentleman named Hussein al-Anabaki wrote a white paper, and it was broken down into several key points, and I thought I would take those key points, mix it with a paper that was written from Princeton a few years ago, and mix those two together and talk about the space in which we are as far as the economies are, and kind of wrap them together. So I'm going to give you the highlights out of each point, and I'll name them one by one, and I'll go slow, so that if you want to write these down, feel free, okay? First off, he says, he's an expert at the central bank. He does not differentiate between the issuing of a cash, new cash, or issuing of more new cash. I think what he's trying to say there is this. Instead of saying new cash, I really think he's talking about issuing lower denominations and entering them into the market space. Because when you do that, you exchange, because all this paper is really written about is exchange, right? So in introducing a new cash flow, because they say they are economists, what is the picture that they paint and how will it shape this article? And that's what they're talking about in this paper, right? So this is number 2. Rather than any dinar that is outside of the central bank is on the side of liability. Get it? Because the money we hold outside of Iraq or inside of Iraq that's not in the bank is what they've got to be accountable for during an exchange, right? Money that's outside the central bank on the side of liabilities and the right side of the bearer, whoever issued it. Iraq is the one who issued it. The bearer is to receive it. I don't know why he supplies this axiom. Axiom means why do they assume that whoever doesn't believe this to be absolute fact and true, as he issues the cash against the deposit with the central bank. So guess what? That money eventually is going to make its way back to a central banking system, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the fourth one, because I read the second one. The third one, it's about inflation. We talk about inflation all the time and skip that. But the fourth one's really key. If the central bank lends to the government any purchase of its bonds, Then it pays the government at a dinar for the value of a loan. And this means that the dead dinar in the central bank will be revived. Meaning that the dinars that they're holding inside of the central bank are dead. Unless you do use those dinars for purchases outside of the scope of the normal market space, those dinars will remain dead. But if they use them in the bond market or outside of the market to pay their bills beyond the dollar, the dinars that are inside that space will be revived. This means that the monetary supply increased. And this means that the cover inevitably will be expanded. And this did not shrink, but expand. The value doesn't go down, it goes up. It's called supply times velocity. But the effect of the two measures on the economy are the same. Meaning that if you use your money to pay for things and use it for everyday use, not just dollars, transfer all dollars to dinar and only use dinars, guess what? The value of that will increase and revive all the dinars that are inside of the central bank. And remember what they said, number one. You don't remember. No one does. Differentiate between using new cash and the new cash issued. Get it? If we issued new lower denominations, those have been sitting in the central bank, that would be dead dinars. Get it? Because they haven't been used for years. Now, if they issue those dead dinars out and they use those inside of their market space, now those dead dinars are revived because they're buying bonds and they're doing it in dinars and not dollars. This is the same reflective language that Ali al-Laq used on the other white paper, and stating that if you're going to use your own money supply to pay for things, such as your own bill system, accounts payable, receivable, that will revive the cash ecosystem inside of Iraq, and to use your own reserves, meaning dinar only. Get rid of the MCP. Therefore, it will give life, and therefore it won't just be sitting in the reserves collecting dust. Not trading it out for dollars, but using it domestically in the market space. The international market makes it a dead commodity because of the auction, and therefore there's no belief behind the system, because when you can artificially suppress something, guess what? The only way to make them believe in it is to force them to use it. And this is the ultimate opportunity to do so. Now, I thought this was super interesting that he wrote this. Check it out. The rescue packages undertaken by countries. I also mentioned that it through the general budgets of these countries. But how? The deficit was financed inevitably through the compatibility of the expansionary fiscal policy. That is defined as being developing countries that are bringing about progressive social economic transformation, such as a couple countries. Fiscal policy is subordinated to the task of winning economic independence, developing the national economy, and expanding the internal source of finance. Internal, not external borrowing, not the auction, none of that stuff. Internal sources of finance for social economic progress. That means only using the dinar. Now, these aren't my words. These are their words defining an expansionary fiscal policy and how you can do so. Simply use your own money and how it is true. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And when I get done reading these, I'm going to forward you the link so you can post it out there. Okay. They can find the link to this conversation about the 7 points or whatever they are on our Facebook page. Okay. Or they can find it on Dinar Objectives or wherever they want to find it at because it's everywhere. But if they want to find the white paper that I'm basing it against by Princeton, I'll send you the link. You can post it in here. So that way they know I'm not just blowing fluff or guessing at something or hoping I get it right. I have what you call a par level for what I'm judging it against. Okay. Okay? And it's all about exchange. The 7th, it says, I would like to refer to my recent book on exaggerated exchange rates. In moments in the nominal exchange rate, which simply measures the relative value of the currency, are often less meaningful than changes in the real exchange rate, which adjusts for inflation differentials between the countries, suppression of local products and goods. Because remember, Iraq has a problem using their own product and goods. They import everything, right? So during this problem we're having, they're forced to use the own products and goods inside of the country. So they're expanding on their local product source. Now, guess what? So, and support for the more important, which is entirely dependent on central banks' data as to show the difference between the value of the private sector import that our central bank claims is the currency sell window. Meaning that if they took the value of what was in the private sector against what they can sell in the currency window, guess what? The currency window kills not only the private sector, but it kills the dinar. So they're killing the economy by just simply having an auction. Now, it's everybody's gonna go, well, that's dumb. We know that, right? Like everybody knows that. It's refreshing to hear an economist point out Iraq's strength and its purpose. Finally, to see people agree that outside of Iraq for so many years is not the pain point. It's inside of Iraq. And this is important because now Ali Alak has said the same thing within days. His white paper mirrored the very same thing I'm going over right now. And this is great news because now, because of what's going on inside of the country, number 8 is going to rock your world. Okay?
Okay.
If you ain't ready, you can stand up. Matter of fact, I'll give you 2 seconds to go get your favorite beverage.
What's going on with the auctions?
I just told you.
Oh, okay. Sure.
The auctions are off. They held an auction the other day. Nobody's buying currency.
Okay.
They're off. Told y'all the auctions are dead.
They're dead.
Dead. Because you know what? They're holding auctions, but they're cleaning up the auctions from previous auctions. They're not selling any new currency. I don't know where they got that to. But I'm way ahead of that. I did that on Patreon. She's on Patreon. I did that 3-4 days, a week ago.
Dwayne Harris said, please advise Pastor Mr. Brando that I said hello.
Tell him shalom.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah.
I looked up oils, $26 and like 10 cents.
Dang! I hate to hear that. I want oil low. Low, low, low. Bottom barrel low. I want it like when I was 16 years old. Same thing. I was grounded and it was 99 cents.
I think Sammy D asked the question earlier, do we have to wait another 30 days?
Listen, y'all, you gonna wait till there's a PM? He's in place. He's got a cabinet. He passes the budget and it's printed in the Gazette. Y'all, we're past that. Like, as an investor watching my show day to day, you ask me that question, you should know the answer.
Okay.
Not to pick on Sammy. I love Sammy to death. We talk all the time. Mm-hmm. But until you see all those things happen, that is moot. Let me tell you how economics is shaped. Because that's how you get paid. You know how you're going to get paid because I just told you. But let me show you why you're going to get paid. Why what you're believing in is worth waiting 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 125 days. Because if you don't know why you believe in something, what's blind faith with no act? The 8th is, and it's so very sweet, I would also like to point out the raising of the value of the Iraqi dinar. This would create a big difference between its real value and its subsidized value now. That's amazing. That is what you want to hear. That is the only thing I ever want to hear. The raising of the value from its real value, which we know what it is, to its subsided value, which they're holding it down to. Get rid of the auction. Use your money in the market space. We know that if you use those metrics and those terms, guess what happens? You, me, those other 200 people out here that are watching the show, we all sit at home. And you know what? We don't go to the bank because you got to make an appointment. And even if they don't let you in, guess what? Right. I'll sit at home with a winning lottery ticket. Can't nobody get me. And nobody knows I got it. You're now very wealthy. And as long as you can hold out through this crisis, you will be fine. Okay? Now, the basis for this whole argument, and here's the other part. I want to read this to you. The real value of a currency is crucial to every open economy because it affects the prices of national goods and service relative to it abroad. As a result, policymakers, economic agents, and others care deeply about the real exchange rate of a currency, often expressed as the kun. Its competitiveness in the space, and in turn makes the nominal exchange rate policy key for almost all circumstances. Nominal currency movements have a real effect on what? A free market economy.
Shout out to Lisa. She keeps dropping that stripper money on us.
Oh, gonna make me twerk.
Not once, but twice.
Thank you, Lisa. Give her all kinds of bombs. Now, copy Miss BB. Here's the Princeton report. You can base it against what you want. It's also a good, strong argument against the gold standard. I know a lot of you guys are for it, but you should read this Princeton report. It's 18 pages. It's not a long read.
Oh, she
it's not.
some more on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It rain on you like you a stripper. Like you.
Thank you.
Megan Thee Stallion.
The white paper is called Introduction to the Political Economic Economy of Current Choice. And it's all about exchange rates and how you use those exchange rates to balance out currency with inflation and trade, and about the actual value of it and how your people believe in it and everything. And it was written by Princeton. So yeah, if someone wants to say, "Oh, you stole something else, Mr. B," guess what else? Yeah, I also got a whole bunch of knowledge off it too. I'll follow Princeton. I don't follow others.
And the link's in the comment section there. It's in the chat, and I'll put it in the comment section. How about that?
Okay. We already talked about this guy, so we're not going to go back to Iraq. But let's flip the script, okay? Let's talk about something cool. Let's talk about the international flare that's going on right now. I don't know if a lot of y'all saw this, but on Monday, Singapore announced that full disclosure of its foreign exchange intervention operations in April to enhance market understanding of its monetary policy stance. Now, that is called MOS, and that foreign exchange process and its intervention will be from 6 months. It will be from December 31st, 2019. Will be published on April 9th, which is tomorrow. Happy Currency Manipulation Day, April 6th.
That was a few days ago.
Yes, and this comes out the very following day. Now, Singapore, who is the shining star in the ASEAN portfolio, and I'll read that to you in a second, but guess what? They tell you that guess what they're going to do? They're going to publish full disclosure on Forex. A free-floating exchange rate system. Exchange rates are determined by the supply and demand. Now, they're already really not bad close to $1. You see what I'm saying? Exchange rates are determined by demand and supply and managed float system. The governments intervene as buyers and sellers of currencies in effect to influence exchange rates. So in a free market society, no, governments don't influence the exchange rate. Not truly. Guess what does?
What?
What you buy and what you sell. It's called buyers are liars and sellers are something else. I ain't going to say that part.
Oh. Okay.
Seems like a free market economy is now becoming the commonplace. Not only all of the United States policymakers as well as trade agreements, but trade agreements abroad. Instead of having multiple trade partners, countries are negotiating one-on-one, and it seems that their willingness to jump on foreign exchanges will make it a more transparent, but the idea of unit-to-unit trade is a more simplified, more exact monetary policy and much easily managed. Free trade slogan, free trade. It creates this new market space. And to have free trade, guess what?
What?
Your currency has to be on par with one another. So you got to ask yourself at that point, what policy was in place before this that would allow countries to undervalue their currency? That policy, in fact, was called the Trans-Pacific Project, the TPP. And here are the countries that were involved in it and why I believe the new China trade agreement mirrors the whole TPP agreement. In fact, it damn near is the same thing, except for a few changes. And this is the very reason why Trump dissolved the pact. The TPP is a 12-nation trade deal that includes Japan, Mexico, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Peru, Chile, Malaysia, Singapore, and Brunei. Now, that's kind of like a who's who is either on the manipulation list or guess what?
What?
Is eager to change their policy to make it more regulatory to do business with the United States. Singapore's the shining star, and they're not really all that bad. And they're willing to change their policy to make them easier to have free trade. Removing the U.S. from the TPP increased uncertainty amongst its allies. But with this new China trade agreement, what Trump efficiently did was he went into school, he picked out the biggest, baddest bully, he slapped him in the mouth. And I'm not a Trump supporter or a hater, but I'm just telling you this is what he did. He made China comply, and guess what? With Singapore signifying this move the other day, it's showing you that the markets are going to correct themselves, and guess what? They will have value unit for unit, probably in the Middle East. Not the Middle East, excuse me, correct myself. In the ASEAN.
Asianic.
Yeah. Singapore, Malaysia. Let's read them again. Whatever that TPP was, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, all those countries are going to be in play. We commonly call this today the China Trade Agreement. So you see, by Singapore obviously telegraphing what they're going to do on February 9th, which is tomorrow, they'll be live hopefully on Forex. I hope everything goes through and all transparency is there. And they'll have their data backed up all the way to December 19th. It's a major shift in the marketplace. It's the big signifier. Everybody was looking for China to move, but guess what? An economy that's not as strong as China, but is a better financial framework than China, shine through. And you know what else is supremely coincidental about Singapore? I'm going to give you another little, because you know what? I like to post this stuff to you because it shows people I'm not just pulling this out of my butt.
Send it to me. I'm going to go get my MacBook because my phone died.
Okay. I just sent it to you.
Okay. And I'll post it in the chat.
Okay. And guess what Singapore just so coincidentally is about to do? Man, let's go right here. This is from Invest Asian. Okay. If you go down here, Singapore's dollar, stronger record growth, blah, blah, blah. Fewer, safer alternatives to Asia. They're talking about right now, introducing Singapore dollar backed by blockchain. What? Blockchain? Singapore is one of the friendliest places in the world towards cryptocurrency. They even have a goal of putting the Singapore dollar on the blockchain very soon. Regardless, the technology behind them is here to stay. The first country to adopt blockchain will benefit immensely from Singapore's dollar that leads the pack. So everything I'm talking about is happening right now. Now, let me close out with saying this. And I'll close out and ask you some questions. So I know y'all got some questions. Didn't we just hear the other day about the digital dollar? Didn't we just hear about China coming out with the digital yuan? Other places now are all talking about a binary type of sense that makes trade simplified. And this will keep everybody on par with a unit by unit basis or dollar by dollar basis. Because a unit's a unit and a dollar's a dollar. And guess what? That's what we all want to see, especially in ASEAN. Now, the Middle East, they're going to come along, folks. But they're using the situation they're in right now as a crutch, and understand that. It's okay. They've got to elect a PM. But he's still got to get a cabinet passed. He's still got to get the budget to finance to parliament. Past that, Kuwait's paid, you're good. Until you see that, I'm looking for other markets to make money. Markets especially in which I've invested into. So please, look to those markets. Understand what you're looking for, and then that way you can find some joy to day and not look to Iraq just to frown. Okay? Yeah, I mean, but already Soleil says he's willing to nominate. Come meet me. I don't care who he nominates. He could nominate Daisy for all I care. Daisy, Select a stupid cabinet of your balls and your stuffy toys. Pass the budget, and guess what? Pay Kuwait. I'm good. I'm not worried about Iraq. Iraq is inconsequential. Because it's got to happen. It can't not happen. And with oil, that's why I don't want to see reconciliation with Russia or with some other country. I want OPEC to fight it out tooth and nail.
There we go. All right. You sent me a link.
Daisy got it popping. She sure does. Like over Redenbachen.
That,
The dong has less than 30 days or pay the penalty. Actually, they're paying the penalty now. They could be tariffed if the United States says so because of currency manipulation day, April 6th. Yep. And we're still receiving products by import. We haven't stopped.
So they just gonna get fined.
Yeah, they're just going to catch fines until they get tired of it. Since their currency is on par still when they start terrifying people. I don't understand that statement. This is an opportunity that Iraq needs to take advantage of. After the situations come to a close, Iraq could get on the ground floor and get markets easily. Sure could. It's their choice.
Did you see Breaker Chain's a question about the ISX?
No.
Oh, okay. So he wants to know, what do you anticipate happening when the ISX comes back online?
If you're talking about some instant reinstatement because the ISX is online, no. It's absolutely false. That's absolutely ludicrous. ISX is a regional player. You're not going to see anything happen until you see a PM. Write this down, y'all, please. Please write it down. A PM. A fully seated cabinet. The budget go from finance to parliament. It's voted upon. It's passed. It's printed in the Gazette. They made a payment to Kuwait. That is it. Everything else, ISX, you're reaching. I know where you're reaching from, and guess what? It's still not fundamentally sound. Yes, Jay Lee, I agree with you. He said, would you agree that even if they strike a deal with Russia and Saudi, no one's buying oil for a while? Yes, because as long as what's going on is going on, the world can't move. And you know what the real free world is? Is the United States of America. That's the real free world because we consume more energy than anybody else. I could care less if Taiwan's still buying oil. I could care less. I want to see the United States sit still, get well, get healthy, heal ourselves. And then when we're ready on our own terms, then go forward. As we go, so as the world goes. Bethany asked you a question.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I got another question here. Do we still need to see China's value increase before the dong will? No, because Singapore telegraphed their move. Singapore moved before anybody. It's kind of like, guys, imagine playing poker, right? China's the big boy. China ain't got to do nothing. But if everybody in that region complies with that trade agreement and China doesn't, can you imagine what's going to happen to China? Their economy's already rocked. No one's going to buy their stuff anymore. Nobody's going to want, if I was a company, you think I'm going to go to China to do business? A, it's hard to do business. I can't break into your financial markets. Your currency's crap. Now you got some viruses floating around. It's killing folks everywhere. And you think I'm going to go back there and conduct trade? Are you nuts? It's like Trump said, China.
Don't be a...
Come on, guys. Think about it. What would you do if it was your business? If it was your business, really think about it. Would you go back to China? Seriously.
No, I ain't going back to
Even
China.
if it wasn't true, this is not a Chinese virus. I'm just saying, if it's not true, would you go back there?
No.
I'm never going there as long as I live. I don't care for any reason, anywhere, any why.
Ooh, can
I'll send robots there to go do business.
Can I say something to you?
Mm-hmm.
I will never probably go on a cruise.
My point exactly.
So, and that's just...
Any recovery of the cruise market for someone saying that's an avid cruiser, you're never...
I was an avid cruiser.
And you know what I'm almost saying? I'll never take public aviation again. The next time I fly on a plane, I might own it.
What?
It might be cheaper for me to own a plane.
We have credits we have to use.
Well, I'll send the girls or something, I may never step foot on their train again. I'm dead serious.
Train? You mean plane?
Plane, yeah. I mean, seriously, I'm just saying. Why would I?
Um.
Unless the price is $99, what they're offering right now are free one way or the
Well,
other.
we have
Give me that
free.
same. No, I know that, but I want the same deal when everything comes back that you're offering right now. And if you're not, then I know your goods and services are grossly marked up. Don't tell me about retail, because this is retail. So you mean a flight from here to Portland, Oregon? I looked before was $600. Now they're offering it for $49.
Well, the price of oil has dropped.
Well, I don't.
Or fuel.
And that's my point. I don't care what the price of fuel is. The markup of an airline ticket per seat is marked up higher than a diamond, I bet. It's way higher than a mattress. I know that. And I'm in the mattress business. No cruises, no helicopters. This is taught me no China.
So, you want me to answer Bethany's question?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so
I'll shut up.
Bethany's question is, April, do you feel the stocks are falsely just, I guess falsely up to crash? Um, I think they're going up and down just because the people are jumping in and out, or jumping in now, hoping that they've caught the bottom. I don't think we're at the bottom. Um, the all time low, most recent all time low was March 18th. If you look at certain companies, they're faring better than others, such as Starbucks. And I can't say why that is, except that they're open right now. And then the market has been up for the past 2 days. So the stocks haven't recovered, but I don't think we've seen the bottom. Now, Bethany, I love AT&T. They're paying out a dividend. The last day to purchase was like a day or so ago. So I know that one went up slightly, but it's still not where it used to be. So I think there is some play in the market. We haven't reached the bottom yet. I wouldn't invest too much into the market right now. I would be cautious. Like, if you socked away a big nest egg into the market now, you're going to probably see it fall off. You could put, a couple of $100 into it, but I wouldn't put a couple of thousand into the market right now.
And somebody says, were the auctions taking place in digital money or no? No, breaker chains. They were taking place with no money. Nobody bought any currency. They settled up old accounts. That's all I did. And then Janelle says, in your opinion, do you think the PM designate still has a chance in heck or a lost cause? After that phone call that I got before I started this show, I wrote him off. No. Tomorrow, if he doesn't get elected, I'm not disappointed. I expect this from Iraq. They're ultimately inept. But I expect to see papers out of the central bank and economists talking about the revitalization of the dinar and the economy to keep coming out, because they're not going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to do what they do. Mr. Brando, the last time there was an Iraqi Singapore business and investment forum was in 2013. If I see a new one jumping off, I'll be excited. Me too, because that means Iraq gets it. They're getting it. Yeah, Lisa and Amen, you put it all out there too. Thank you for typing it out so everybody can write it down one good time.
Oh, her 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 p.m., 2 cabinet, 3 budget, 4 pay.
Kuwait.
Kuwait.
Mother Kuwait. That's it. Everything else you've heard is fantasy. Fantasy. All this 10 cents, 5 cents. You're guessing. You're grasping.
Sammy D said, are they going to vote tomorrow?
Nope. Oh, I hope so. Yeah. No, actually, I hope Zafari actually goes out there and steps all the way down. Step down, new guy, let's go. On to the next one. Because as soon as they pass him, that's all I'm waiting for. They're obviously stalling because they're trying to do something. All you need to see is a PM in place with his cabinet. Then you're going to see a budget. Then you're going to see a payment. Then you're going to see a public gazette. And then you are done, basically. Anything past that, and if they don't pay Kuwait in that budget, now you and I both sitting here right now have a big problem.
You see that last?
Yeah, because that's the way the Iraqi constitution is written. The new PM gets 30 days to select a cabinet. And what they do is they mess around for the first 3 days with photo ops and crap. The next 10 days, it's he's posing with the president, da da da. 15 days into it, this, and that. When it's about 20, 25 days, that's when the political pressure starts to happen. And that's where you see all these guys in these blocks say, oh, I liked you at first, and now I don't like you, so I'm not going to support you. And obviously, because the 17th is right upon us, they've already said, hey, look, we're not going to support this guy. We're not going to even get him. Because you know what he's going to do? He's in cahoots with the Americans. He was going to go into office, get elected, have the American coalition forces basically take over the army and arrest Amiri, Maliki, all those bad guys, do away with the militias, and guess what? He wasn't willing to apologize in public for saying it. That's why they're kicking him out. That's the real reason. Joan Hill, they told me one time they could pick a cabinet in 30 hours, not 30 days. It's up to the discretion of the person who's picking the cabinet. And if they think that cabinet will pass. You don't need to wait 30 days for anything. But what I don't want to see is the world move for another 90 days if we can hold out, if we can survive financially and be in our place. Because the greatness of not having to go back to work, being a newfound whatever you are, is much greater than me having to wait 30 days. Any more questions? Why can't Soleil just take it into the finish line? I'll tell you why. Because he's a Kurd, Nicole, and they ain't gonna let a Kurd do it. It ain't gonna happen. They ain't gonna. I hate to say it like that. Being a Kurd in Iraq is like being a. I don't know what to say. It's just not a good thing, right? It's not a bad thing. They're just a highly minority thing, and they're not gonna let a Kurd. They're gonna let a Shiite take them to the finish line. I'm just telling you. It's just the way it's gonna work out. Just the way vanity works in Iraq. I don't know what Mike's talking about either. That's when the new list comes out. What new list, Mike?
He's talking about the currency monitor list, and
He heard that.
he heard that from
I know.
But
It comes out. They printed several currency manipulation lists, and no, it doesn't come out twice a year. Will you read the link, please, so we can put this to rest?
I'm trying to find it. It just comes out when it comes out.
It comes out when it comes out. If they label you a currency manipulator, guess what? It is not a biometric thing. You can label them a currency manipulator when they manipulate their currency. That's why you're a currency manipulator. And that's why they can tariff you day to day import or export. That's why it's written in a trade agreement. It's easy, guys. This ain't hard to follow. I'll give you an example. I'll give you some color. Daisy Stoppy. So you're a currency manipulator, but yet you don't want to change your currency. Do you think the United States is going to keep importing your export at a discount because you're manipulating your currency and then wait for the next opportunity to list you as a currency manipulator?
And I think
that makes no sense.
The last list wasn't it updated January 2020? I'm trying to find.
But that makes zero sense.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying what you're saying. I'm saying what he's saying. The list only comes out. No, it doesn't. So I'm writing this trade agreement that says you can't manipulate your currency. Now let's think about this. Let's put some practicality into this, right? So you're currency manipulating, right? But I gotta wait 6 months before I can file? But I'm gonna let you steal for 6 months and create a deficit? Then what's a free trade economy for? That makes zero sense.
Yeah, so this list here, this was revised as of January 20th. So they can go in and change it at any given
Will you post that link so we can put that rumor to bed? Because obviously whoever said it should really use Google more often.
Well, it was January 13th. It's on hometreasury.gov.
Home Treasury? Well, Daisy's ready to do it.
Daisy ready to play ball.
But I'll ask you guys a question. So let's say me and you got a trade agreement. And we got this big trade deal written up that says you can't steal, and yet I'm undercutting my currency to steal from you. Are you going to wait 30 days or 60 days or 90 days to file that I'm a currency manipulator to tariff my product? Or are you going to let me steal for 6 months on a trade agreement that we both written and agreed upon? That makes zero sense. Why would you have a free trade agreement? That makes no sense at all.
I hate Apple. I'm not used to an Apple. There we go. Okay. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh.
And it's, they update it, so.
Any more questions? Hey, so it seems we are waiting for Iraq to get themselves together in the same way that Vietnam has. Why would you think the IQD would RI before the VND? It just seems the IQD is years away.
Who said that?
Somebody named J. Coverson 14. Well, I would say this. Because I know to be Article 8 compliant, you only got to make one payment of $2.1 billion. A reinstatement, I'm not saying for a nominal value, only has to happen with that. So I don't think they're years away. They're a payment away, whether that be 30 or 60 days. But in actuality, Vietnam's under pressure to go under policy and monetary reform to put their stuff on Forex, show empirical data. That creates transparency within their budget, and then also reinstate their currency at a nominal rate. So you tell me, what comes first, Jay Coverson, the chicken or the egg?
And then he also said, Jake Harrison 14 said, if VND can't go yet.
Anytime, brother. Because the problem with this guy is it's a race to the bottom. Both of them got to do something soon. And the reason why I think they got to do something soon quickly, A, there's no oil. B, there's no exporting because there's no oil to move product. Think about it. I can't transport my product even if I make cell phones. How am I going to ship them? There's no oil to ship it. This is easy. This is pragmatic. This isn't difficult. Anytime, Jay Coverson, you're a good guy, man. Thank you for asking. Are we there yet? Yep, J. Charles Music. We're exactly where we were yet last week in the YouTube studio. When are we getting paid, Mr. B? As soon as they pay me. Any news on Indonesia? Yeah, God, man, you have to ask the hard questions, Fam Jam. They did do something in Indonesia. I forgot if it was a devalue their currency, but there was news about Indonesia. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared. They did do something, yes.
And they're under tariff, right? Are they going to get
No,
imposed?
they're not. They're not tariffs because you can buy it. Didn't you buy it from a bank?
No, I'm talking about they're going to get imposed tariffs from Vietnam.
Yeah, that was what they said in the article, but I can't
Yeah,
quote off
you
my
haven't,
head, and I don't want to lie. And
right. You haven't seen anything else.
yeah, but great question, Jay. Lisa, that was the finishing of the statement because of the
Oh, he
chat
was
cut
letting
off.
me know, yeah.
Oh,
He was
okay.
letting
No,
me know
Jay,
'cause
you're good, though. You're good.
he was letting me know because I saw a second part to his, but it was just a hiccup.
What happened with President Slade dissolving the parliament? He hasn't imposed a red card, and he won't because he's a wimp. I told him that when he was in the chat. Mark,
Oh.
he's a wimp. He ain't gonna do it. I hate to say it, but
Soleil?
yeah, he ain't gonna do it. They're gonna see this through a government, y'all. You don't understand. It's symbolic. It's like everybody else in the world can get it right, but us. They're gonna have APM. They're going to have a fully functioning government. That's the things that they're gonna have because they gotta have it to look like a normal country. Do you think they're gonna have an FDI? I'll ask this question. What do you think their FDI will be if they don't have a fully functioning government? To that person that asked me that question. And if you don't know what an FDI is, I'll give you a moment to look it up. And I'll tell you right now, it's called foreign direct investment. I'm not going to invest in a company or a country or anything else that's not set up properly. So dissolving makes the whole country look bad. We're not going to do that. Would you dissolve Coca-Cola because Cherry Coke sucks? No. You're going to come out with a new Cherry Coke and a new Cherry Coke until you find one that works for you. That's exactly what Iraq's going to do.
Did you catch that, Daisy? Did you catch what he was putting down? She's just sitting there like, I got it. I got it. I'm ready.
Daisy's like, I know.
Are you ready to go to the bank, Daisy?
Listen, if you look at, and everybody's always asking me what a rate would be. I don't even want to touch a rate. I think rates are crazy. It's like me guessing when this is going to happen. I'm not a soothsayer. But what I can tell you is this. Think about it. If you're going to do business and they got this trade agreement, you got to do business under these guidelines, or someone can actually tariff you for doing it. Why wouldn't it just make it more simply to comply than not comply? Right? Because I'm going to make more money if I just trade with you. And if you look at the foreign direct investment for the United States to Vietnam, it went up like tenfold this year. It's huge. Now I don't know the foreign. I can only guess that they don't count the foreign direct investment in Iraq because they're basically written in our budget every year. They're underneath us. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's probably not counted the same way. But what I am saying to you is, are you going to give up all that money because you don't want to comply? Simple. Well, y'all, it's it. It's over. We've done it. We've talked about it for an hour. I appreciate you taking the time out. I appreciate you asking questions. I appreciate you giving it maximum effort. And I won't hold you guys any longer. Have a awesome day. Wash your hands, wash your clothes, practice social distancing.
You got another question or something?
Yeah, but I didn't see Charles. No, I didn't see that.
What happened?
The asset cap of Wells Fargo.
Hide your kids, hide your wives, because Corona's out there.
All right. Y'all have a great night, man. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys in a week. Great chat. Salute you guys.
Uh-oh. Caller on the line. You want to cut off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?